Okay, here's my review of the Nextbase 222 1080p Dashcam, which I bought from Amazon for £65. It normally retails for around £70 from other retailers. So, as I just said, this is a full 1080p Dashcam. So, in terms of information on the box, it just tells you what it is. You get a click and go pro mount. You get the 12 to 24 volt power cable. You've got a USB cable, a suction cup, a power cable fitting tool, and a quick start guide. So there's not much information on the box itself. It does tell you that it can take micro SD cards up to 128 gigabytes in size, which is pretty good actually. So let's have a look at the dash cam itself. So as of yet I haven't fitted it, but I have played around with it yesterday for quite a while and got to know what its features and so on. So I'll show you all the contents of the box in a minute. So this is the dash cam itself, so it comes like this. So as you can see, it's pretty small in size. Let's move that out of the way. So it fits comfortably in the palm of your hand. I will put all the actual measurements in the description below the video. So you can see it has quite a long lens on it, but that's not an issue. A lot of other dash cams are pretty don't have the same kind of length of the lens, but this one has quite a big one. So this has a 140-degree viewing angle, which isn't bad, isn't the best. I mean, a lot of dash cams these days come with 160, 170, even 180, but 140 is pretty decent. Should allow you to see 3 lanes of traffic. So that's the actual little dash cam itself. So in the box you also get this, which is a suction mount. So literally slap on your windscreen, hold it down, and it locks in place. So that's one of the mounts. You also get a second mount. Just try and find it. So you also get an adhesive mount if you want to stick it onto the windscreen. So literally all you have to do is to slide this piece up here, so that comes apart like so, and then you have to line this new one up. So just so, line it up, click it into place, and that is now the adhesive mount rather than the suction mount. So you can choose either one, so they're interchangeable with each other. So you also get a spare adhesive pad in case you mess the first one up, or if you want to redo it into a different car. So this dash cam comes with a click and mount system. So you have this little panel on the front here which comes away. I don't know why they actually put this on here, because you don't need it. And literally you line the thing up so you can see the electronic prongs here match with that there, and it literally snaps into place. So it's quite actually a very strong magnet, so it snaps quite violently into place, as you can see. So once that's into place, stick that to your windscreen, and when you want to remove it you have to use some force. So the actual power cable, which I'll show you now, which is here, plugs into the mount itself. So once that's plugged into the mount, that then provides the electricity, and once you release it, obviously the cable stays in place. So the dash cam is free to come out the car with the end cables, and then clicks back into place, and you're good to go again. But the only problem with this magnetic release system, it is so strong that the actual ball joint here is, which you use to adjust the camera, it's fairly stiff, but it's probably not stiff enough. I would say you probably need a locking system in place. So I think once you pull this off your windscreen, you're probably going to move the ball joint, which means you're going to have to realign the camera every single time you remove it. So that's obviously a little downside. So in terms of the cable, it gives you plenty of cable. As of yet I haven't fitted it, but hopefully there is enough cable for my small little car. Should be enough anyway. So that's all the main system. You also get a USB cable as well to connect to your computer or charge it. It says on the box you can actually charge it with a phone charger. Just use this cable. Obviously that's a suction mount. There's not much else you get in the box. The instructions are pretty limited. You have to actually go online and get all the full information for what it actually does. It doesn't actually tell you too much in the box. So you get some stickers as well to put on your car. I don't know whether these are a good idea or not, because it kind of tells people there's a dash cam in the car and, you know, a thief might steal it. You also get a little plastic tool which is used to install the cable, so you can just pull back the trim on your car, or the rubber seals and so on. So in terms of instructions, there's just some basic instructions in here. Like I said, you do have to go online to get all the full details. So in terms of setting the dash cam up, pretty simple. So you need an SD card, obviously, up to 128, which is pretty big actually. I've only got a 32 in here, so you can see it here. So the micro SD card. It is a little bit fiddly actually to fit this. I think they could have designed this a lot better. I haven't got particularly long nails, and to just get into place it takes you a few attempts the first time. You can see it's quite, as you can see, that just bounced out. So it is a little fiddly to fit the SD card. I think you need long nails. You can see here, so it's spring loaded, so push down on it to release. And if you use a micro SD card adapter, you can plug that straight into your laptop or your PC or tablet or whatever. So I would personally buy a bigger SD card than 32 gigabytes. 32 gigabytes in 1080p HD will store around 4 hours of footage, so a 64 will store double that, so you get the picture. So 32 gigabytes is around 4 hours of footage in 1080p. So in terms of the menu, so it has a battery in it, so it works I think for up to half an hour. So I'll just try and turn it on. Hopefully there's some charge in it. So you can see it plays a little sound every time it starts. In terms of quality, obviously I haven't installed this into the car yet, but I have played around with it in the home, and the quality actually seems pretty decent, especially for this price range. So the menu is dead simple, so you have some buttons on the side here, up and down. The middle one is an OK button and also a record button, so you can press, if you want to stop recording in the car you can press that, or if it's on battery you can press the record and so on. You have a power button up here. You have to hold the power button down for a few seconds for it to shut off, and hold it down again for a few seconds to turn it on. You have the mode button down here, which allows you to go into camera mode. You can take pictures by pressing the OK button, as you can see, and you press mode again. It allows you to search through the files, or the video and any photos you've taken and so on. So in terms of the menu, so you press the menu, let's give it that a minute. So you press the menu once, it shows you one menu, so you have, let's try and get that a minute. So if you press the menu once, it gives you the standard setup, so you can choose your resolution. So you have 1080p, 720p and 720p at 60 frames per second. You have the exposure. I always personally like to turn the exposure up by +1 in the autumn and winter time, as it's slightly darker at daytime. You have audio recording, so you can choose to turn that on or off. You have the video length, which is basically that's when it formats the actual file, so it formats a file every 1, 2 or 3 minutes. That's not the actual length of time. It obviously records continuously for as long as it can write to the SD card. You have the time and date stamp. You can choose to have that on or off. What I did notice is when you choose to have it on, it displays a big Nextbase logo at the top left hand corner, I think it was. So if you do have that on, the Nextbase logo comes up, which I suppose is a kind of free way for Nextbase to advertise their products if somebody does upload it online. G sensor, which detects any kind of shocks if you have a crash. Again, personally, I don't like to have that on because it kind of gives lots of false readings and kind of starts writing data to the SD card, which you don't really need. So that's it. So if you press the menu system twice, it gives you a different menu, so you can format the card, which you should do when you first insert it, and so on. Time and date again, language, screensaver, device sound, so you can choose to have this on or off. Personally, I like it on. Audio power, so you can choose when the Dashcam shuts off, when you shut the ignition off. So you can choose 10 seconds, 1 minute or 2 minutes. So I personally like to leave it on as long as possible, 2 minutes. You can enter your number plate, which will be displayed alongside the timestamp. And you have parking mode. This one's a bit of a strange one. What it does, it detects movement using the battery. So once the ignition goes off, if it detects any kind of movement, it will start recording for 30 seconds. The problem is it records them as a save file, so these files cannot be overwritten by the standard when you're just normally driving. So what will probably happen is every time someone walks in front of your car, it will record for 30 seconds, but those recordings can't be deleted automatically, so it's going to fill up your SD card in next to no time if people do keep walking in front of your car. So that's a good feature, but I think that the feature which because it protects the recordings, that's a bit annoying. I would personally like the files just to be recorded normally along with all the other dashcam footage, but you know, there's no option to choose to have these files overwritten, so it just stores them and saves them and they can't be deleted without your permission. So that's a little bit annoying, because that is a good feature, but I think they got that one a bit wrong. Recording history. This one, I read on the website, some countries you're only allowed to record so many minutes of footage until it has to be deleted automatically. So if you select minimum, it only records a certain amount of time. I can't remember what it was, but so if you set it to maximum, it just keeps on recording to the SD card as normal. System information, that's not interesting. Keep user settings, that just keeps your default settings. So that's the menu. So it's pretty damn simple to set up. Basically just insert the SD card, choose the time and date, you can enter your reg if you want to, and really you should be good to go. So that's the actual Dashcam itself. So again, in terms of quality, it's a pretty nice quality. I mean, it's what you would expect for the money. You also have a reset button on the bottom, and this button here is when you wanted to save a recording. So you press that, it protects them, and you can't overwrite them without manually deleting them. So yeah, it's nice and small, as you would expect. Two different mounts, so you have a suction mount and adhesive mount as well. Plus you can obviously use the mount to quick release and so on. So again, you can see I will probably end up using the adhesive mount, as I think it's more compact and you should be able to get it behind your mirror more easily. So that is pretty much what you get in the box and the entire features of the cam itself. So like I said, quality, obviously I haven't installed it yet, but the quality so far looks pretty good for the price. You also get a USB port on the top just for connecting to your computer. I think you can also connect this if you want the power supply rather than the mount as well. So you either have the choice of the mount or this port here. So yeah, it's a nice little dash cam for the money. I think at 65 or 70 pound, it definitely seems like good value compared to others. So the next step, I will install this and I will then record, you know, 5 or 10 minutes worth of footage and upload that, I will record it in 1080p so you can then get a full idea of the full quality of this device. It doesn't have night vision or anything like that, but it does record in no light. I have actually tried it in the house in no light and actually gives pretty good footage. So yeah, so the next step is to install it and upload some footage. So that's it. Thanks for watching.